Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video, and today I have another career mode episode for you guys. Now yesterday I didn't do one because I was busy, but today we are back and yet again with the Williams car, second race in that car now. And if you guys want to see how my debut went for the Williams team in the last race, then do check it out by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen, because it's our first race in the worst car on the grid, and it's probably worth checking out for context before arriving at this episode. But now we are here, and the first race of the Williams car is in the books. It wasn't too bad, to be fair, and definitely exceeded my expectations. However, now we arrive at USA, which is a track that I don't mind, but I've never done well at in the F1 games before. The same applies for Interlagos and also Abu Dhabi. If I'm being realistic, the only good track I have left in the calendar for me to score points on is Mexico. So with that in mind, every race is important, and Mexico especially is important. But we arrive here this weekend, and it's going to be an interesting one because we have upgrades on the car. Quite a few, but we'll see if they actually translate into performance. Now, first of all, we have the weather forecast for this weekend. As you can see, we have pretty much overcast conditions for both qualifying and the race, not a ray of sunshine pretty much. Then we have a triple upgrade this weekend. However, only one of them is performance related when it comes to the drag on the aero. The other two are for tyre wear on the chassis side of things. So in terms of performance, the car will take a step up in terms, just a little bit maybe, just a small gain in terms of performance. There's going to be more stuff in terms of tyre wear, which you don't really notice that much unless you really do a tyre wear track, so to speak. In terms of the upgrade tree, there you can see that we've taken a massive jump though, albeit performance or not, and we've really jumped up and really joined in with that midfield fight, and we've joined the likes of McLaren, Toro Rosso, Haas, and also Force India. So yeah, all in all, not too bad, and closing that gap as much as we can in the remaining races of the season. And pretty much we're going to try and see if we can translate these upgrades into raw pace around this circuit. We're going to jump straight into qualifying, overcast conditions as we mentioned before, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how this Williams car copes. After practice, I was quite happy. The car was working well. I had a good setup. I was very happy with the front end of the car, which is what I look for around this circuit, and something that I was struggling to do with the Mercedes this season in many regards, you know, suffering with understeer. And I felt quite confident I could do a good job around here, and if I got the perfect lap, you know, dare I say, I could maybe actually get off the bottom row of the grid and maybe challenge some of the low midfield guys. And also in the race tomorrow on strategy, I'm hoping that that will also give us a bit of an advantage. So yeah, let's see what happens. You know, also, we took the tyre temperature mod off. If you are back to the series for the first time in a while, we took the tyre temperature mod off, I think about 4 races ago now, and since then it's worked fine. I've had no issues, and we seem to have resolved that, and the game seems to fix itself with the patches, which is good to see. So yeah, jumping into qualifying, this was my first of 3 runs in the session, all of them on the ultra soft tyres. You can see there I cut that final corner a little bit on my first run. To be fair, it was a good lap. I got a lovely little bit of slipstream from Grosjean all the way down the back straight, and it was a pretty damn good lap. But I knew there was a little bit of time left on the table, so I went out to try and improve again, and generally a bit of a scruffy lap up and down. I gained time in different parts of the track, and to be fair, I probably could have improved if I got it all together, but I kind of threw time away in places where you don't really throw away lap time. And yeah, ultimately, as you can see, going for the final corner, we do actually get a bit of a tank slap up. We just improved by 0.004 of a second on our second attempt. We're still last though, and P20, so the pressure's on, and we need to improve on this final attempt. And I know I can string a good lap together if I hook it all up. So straight away, a great exit out of the final corner, really opening up the final corner, getting the traction down early. We're going to brake at the black box on the right hand side as a reference point, down to second gear, rotate the car in second to really focus on your exit, get the traction and the power down as you go flat out through turn 2, and we now go into the S section for turns 3, 4, 5 and 6. All about momentum through here and having a good car underneath you, feeling confident with the setup and letting the car pretty much do the work as you do the apexes, as you can see there. Taking that in that left side, that left hand a little bit too much, and I can't uncompromise my next right. But all in all, not too bad, a decent first sector, and we're 2/10 up to show for it as we now go down into the hairpin brake, and just before the 50-meter board, down to second gear. Make sure you focus on your traction. To be fair, I don't know what happened here, but I didn't really get that good of an exit really compared to my previous attempt. It felt fine, but for some reason I must have got a godly exit last time, because I lost time all the way down the straight. Then we brake down at the 50-meter board, down to third gear, and then second to rotate the nose into the hairpin. And then it's all about this final sector now, really tricky corners and a complex section. And this is where I was losing all my time to the AI. I was losing about 6-7 tenths of a second here. And if I was just losing 1 or 2 tenths, I'd be right in the mix for the top 10. But I lose all my time through here. And it's not that I do it particularly bad, it's just the AI with their traction control that's inbuilt in them. They're just so strong, and there's not much I can do about it. Through the final couple of corners though, you can see keep it nice and tidy, no mistakes, and generally a very tidy lap, to be honest, in my opinion. I was very, very happy with it. At the final corner, DRS open and across the line, and that is going to be a lap good enough for P19 again, unfortunately. Yes, so we are still on the bottom row, but we beat Stroll again in qualifying, which is good news, but generally a shame. We could have just got Hartley there maybe in the Toro Rosso. It was very close to getting off the last row of the grid, but generally we needed a couple more tenths to really go for it. And like I said, I was losing most of my time in the final sector. If I was doing sectors that the AR were doing through there, I would have been probably 11th or 12th. So yeah, it's a shame, but it's just the way it is. But generally a decent qualifying here at USA. P19 for the race tomorrow. Let's see what happens. It's time for the USA Grand Prix. Let's go.
In 2012, America's on-again, off-again love affair with Formula One finally seemed to settle down with the completion of this wonderful racing facility here in Texas. Since then, we've been treated to some incredible races, including, of course, that classic wet-dry championship decider of 2015. It's the Circuit of the Americas then, situated 14 miles outside the great city of Austin. This is the 3.6 mile lap with 20 corners, 10 each to the left and to the right, and top speeds of around 200 miles per hour. Overtaking opportunities are available into turns 1 and 12, especially with that rear wing DRS wide open. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Martinez. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hülkenberg, Raikkonen, Lewis Hamilton, and Sainz, Bottas, Ericsson, Perez, and Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, and Gasly, Magnussen, Van Dorn, Romain Grosjean and Brendan Hartley. Martinez and Lance Stroll rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right then, here we are on the grid for the USA Grand Prix. P19, a pretty decent qualifying in terms of beating our teammate and trying to compete with those in front of us. Ultimately, the gap in performance is the gap that we need to try and make up, and we need some performance upgrades on the car, and hopefully I can get them after this episode. But for now, we are stuck with this car, which, to be fair, has 2 tyre upgrades on for this race, which should hopefully make strategy a little bit easier for me. Now, speaking of which, as you can see on screen, we have overcast conditions all the way through this race, and then we're going to go for the one stop with the supers onto the soft compound tyres. Fuel-wise, we are 1.5 laps over. Not too heavy, not too light. I want to have some fuel in reserve, but not too much, because otherwise I'm going to start cooking my tyres. And realistically, the aim is to try and go long, keep the tyres as long as we can with the new tyre upgrades, and hopefully be somewhat competitive on the one-stop strategy. The better this first stint is, the better our race will be overall, and it's important that we stick with the pack, if possible, on these super softs. But with that being said, let's just jump into it here, and let's see how things shape up for the USA Grand Prix. Let's go. Right, here we go. Let's gear up for the 5 red lights here at Austin, Texas. 5 lights are on, and they are off, and away we go. Not a great start, I have to say. Stroll's got off to a flyer in the other Williams as we go down towards, or up towards turn 1 more like. Down the inside, just being careful here we don't lose our front wing. Got to be very careful. We've made a couple of places up in the P17. Got Brendan Hartley on my right hand side, but we're just going to edge in front of him. Lots of 2 wide action here. We're going to have to get on the brakes, otherwise we might have some contact with cars around us. I need to be aggressive on this opening lap if possible, to make up as many places, and then we'll start obviously driving defensively. But let's see what happens as we go through this left-hander. Everyone's going to go very late on the brakes, or should I say very early on the brakes, down into the hairpin here, down the inside of Kevin Magnussen. I'm going to run a little bit wide on the apex to try and force him out. There we go, job done. What are we like for straight line speed around this circuit? Looks pretty average. We should just have enough in the tank to stay in front of Magnussen. There we go, we managed to stay in front. So P16, we've made up a couple of places. Now we've got to see how the rest of this race goes. We've got Max Verstappen in front, which is something I never thought I'd be saying around this circuit. a long race. This one, 28 laps. The laps are fairly long, so it's one of the longer races in the calendar, along with Singapore. So let's buckle up for a long race here today. Right, on to lap 3. DRS now enabled. We're just dropping back from Verstappen here. We need to get back within DRS if I can, so I'm going to leave it in the hot lap mode in sector 1 to close the gap. Right, I didn't get within DRS. This is unfortunate because we are going to start losing even more ground to the guys in front. We get into that slipstream battling. Here comes Kevin Magnussen. Doesn't quite commit to the overtake though. It's going to take a lot to beat me on the brakes into that corner. That's probably my strongest brake point. I'd even say on the calendar it's one of my stronger brake points. Verstappen and Van Dorn here going side by side. Verstappen actually gets it done around the outside of the McLaren driver. Good stuff. I'm losing the back end a lot at the minute in this race. Can't seem to get any stability on the rear. And that would explain it. My rears are hot already. Wow. That might be... Oof. Wow. That was close. Bit too close for comfort, but my rears are hot. That's a bit of a concern, to be honest. I did not expect that. That was not the case in free practice when I was doing my race runs. I'm in big trouble here. My rears are hot. It's going to be one of them races, unfortunately. And I don't even have the pace anyway, so we could be in big trouble. Hartley goes for the move in the Toro Rosso. He is on the Ultras, to be fair, so he should be faster than me, so I'm going to let him go. Hopefully my tyres can cool down a little bit and try and get things under control again. I can't get these temperatures under control. We are going to be in big trouble this race. Here comes Magnussen. He's going to fly past on the left-hand side. I'm going to try and drag him down to the brake zone. Switch back, maybe. Nah, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. We just don't have the pace. We've got pace this race to be last. I'm just really struggling. The tyres are kind of all over the place because they really do cool off a lot on the straight, but they get extremely hot through fast corners like sector 1. It absolutely kills my tyres. And it's actually my rears that are suffering, not the fronts, which I'm struggling to understand how my rears are suffering so bad as we get loose through. That's my second extension warning already on lap 5. And look at that, my left rear. Look how hot that's gotten. It's ridiculous how hot these tyres are getting, and I can't do nothing about it. Here comes Grosjean. It's going to be fairly easy for him. I'm going to cover the inside. And we've been hit up the rear. Jeez, man, I've got no rear grip at all whatsoever. I'm going to crash if this keeps going. I'm going to not be able to hold the back end. Oh, this is going to be painful. Just couldn't get the car slow down there. And now my right front is starting to get hot. And my rears are starting to go way out of, just what's possible for me to save. Really starting to get hot now, 105. On the brakes, I've just got 0 confidence. This is not going to end well, this race. I don't know what I can do. I need a miracle. The car's looking good in practice, and it felt great in qualifying, but now in the race, I've got absolutely nothing to fight with. Oh my god. I've just got no confidence. I'm not enjoying this at all. I'm not even going to hold up Stroll if he gets the move. I mean, what's the point? I'm not even competing this race. And I might even retire. I've just got no pace at all. And we're going to have the same problem on the soft compound tyres. So, yeah, this is not fun at all. Right, well, after 7 laps, Sebastian Vettel, no, Kimi Raikkonen, who wasn't even on pole, has a pit stop advantage on me. So, that kind of says it all. Stroll goes for the move into turn 1. I'm not even going to fight it because I just don't have the pace, the confidence, or the grip. Right, more cars in the pit lane. Brendan Hartley in this time. That's how much he's gained on me. He's actually already come in. And he's almost got a pit stop gap on me. Also, Force India came in as well. So we are still P17. Ericsson's closing me down at a rate of knots. Oof, man. I've got no confidence with the rear end whatsoever. Right, here comes Marcus Ericsson. It's going to be a tricky one to compete with. That Sauber's probably the fastest car on the straight along with the Force India. So he's going to have to concede the position, unfortunately. Oh, crap. Lock up. That's going to allow Hartley through. He's on fresh supers, so I'm just not even going to bother. Oh my god, what the hell? I've just got no grip. I don't even know what's happening. I've just got no confidence at all in the car. No matter how slow I drive, I'm literally driving like 50% of my speed at the minute. It just doesn't mean anything. I can't do anything. Oh my god, again. I've just got no confidence at all. The car locks up so easily. Right, into the pit lane. What a horrible stint. One of the worst ones I've had in a long time. Get it slowed down. Right, onto the soft compound tyres. Let's see what happens. It's going to be last place for us by far. 1.9 stop, good stuff from the boys, but let's see what our pace is like. I'm kind of praying realistically for a safety car pretty late on, so I can go into the ultras and have a late charge for the field. That's what I've got, to be honest. That's what I can hang on to. And if nothing arrives, then it's going to be a painful P19, P20 for us this race. Right, Grosjean comes in, as has Lance Stroll. But we're going to be still quite a way back from my teammate, as we pretty much hit half race distance in this race. So P19, that's our net position. Let's see if we get a bit of luck, and let's see if this tyre is actually better than the super soft and we can do more than 3 laps on it without overheating. Well, at least the personal best, 34.2. I've got no idea though. I'm guessing that's pretty bad. I think that's going to be a good pace. Another personal best into the 1 minute 33s. We're pretty much equal pace with Stroll, so we won't be catching him up anytime soon. Oh, safety car. Esteban Ocon.
They are out of the race.
Right, there we go. Esteban Ocon is out of the USA Grand Prix. That is exactly what we needed. That's going to give me a chance to catch up now. The question is, what do I do on strategy? The safety car is a little bit early. I can't really go on ultras. It's earlier than I expected. I need to see what tyres I have left. I've got supers left, so I could go super soft again. Interesting. I might have a look and see if I can go for the supers, but I'm going to, because I'm towards the back, I'm going to serve my pit stop as late as I can, basically. Right, so we've caught up to the safety car train. We're going to come in this lap. Just got to respect the safety car and the yellow flags and everything. Be careful to not speed. Respect the speed limiter as well. Let's get it all slowed down. There we go. Right, so I've also selected a change of front wing. I want to get an extra turn to level 4. I want to see if I can rejoin in front of Grosjean here. Great stop, 1.9. Fantastic stuff from the boys. Let's see if we can come out ahead of Grosjean. Maybe keep that place at least. It's going to be close. Here comes Roman. Oh, he's got me, damn it. Not enough. Right, well, we're at the back, but we are going to be on fresh super softs. 10 laps instead of 12, which is what I did in the first stint. That should give me a little bit better tyres. I'm still going to have to watch these though and manage these, but also the car is lighter on fuel, so let's see. I'm kind of hoping realistically that we can pull off a miracle, but it's going to take a lot to get anywhere near the points. It's going to take a hell of a lot. Right, here we go then. Safety car restart, about to get underway. We're going to go standard fuel mix. We're going to try and save a little bit of fuel and use that for overtaking. Let's get ready for the restart here. Let's try and be sneaky. Maybe try and make a pass on Grosjean. There we go. Roman on the back foot. Down the inside of the penultimate corner, and now into the final corner to get the move done. Right, so we're past Grosjean, there we go. We've recovered that position. Now we go racing here in Texas once again. Looks like there's a bit of action to turn 1. Let's see if we can cut away from the field. The more cars we pass early on, the better, so we have to be fast. Right into this brake zone. Hartley might go early on the brakes, he does. We go down the inside. Just sail past. Up next, Lance Stroll, my teammate. No DRS, but we are going to have the tow, overtake ERS and also Rich Mix. We're going to hit some pretty ridiculous straight line speed, but not enough. A little bit of battling here. Ericsson and Magnussen going side by side, I can see. This is where we need to cash in on these side-by-side battles. These are the opportunities to get places. Magnussen gets squeezed out there by Marcus Ericsson. And Stroll closes up, and so do I. I'm still one track extend or corner cut away from a penalty, so that would ruin my race. So I need to try and stay composed. Here we go, onto the pit straight. Even my own teammates pulling away. Raikkonen's in the pit lane there. That's interesting. I thought about going for the lunge there on Stroll, but if it wasn't my teammate, I would have had a go, but it's Lance, so I'm not going to dart on my own teammate. But we're now P16. We need to make these moves now on Stroll. We really do. I'm gaining here. I'm going to try and have a look. Doesn't quite work out, but we are very close and putting the pressure on here big time. Oof, a bit loose through there. Back end still feels incredibly happy on this car. Into the hairpin. Let's try and get Stroll here if we can. Straighten up the car nice and early. Damn, Stroll's getting some pretty damn good acceleration in that Williams. If I could have some of that, that'd be great. Here comes Brendan Hartley though. He's having a look in the Toro Rosso. Late on the brakes. Down the inside, I'm going to hang it around the outside. Like I said before, it's going to take a lot to beat me into that brake zone. Looks like we've got a slow moving car. It's in McLaren, which is causing this little train of cars. This is exactly what I need to get points. This should trigger side-by-side battles. Right, DRS is now enabled. It's Fernando Alonso who's going slow. So, can we try and get past my teammate this time round? Much better exit, much better traction, but Stroll is going to have DRS in the car in front. That's the problem. Everyone has DRS on everybody else. At the moment, my tyres are holding on this time a lot better than before. Hot on the brakes to try and close that gap. I reckon we might have a chance here on Stroll through this section. He's not going to have that much grip on those softs, but I don't really that corner there, that right hander, that's where I need to be good, and I'm nowhere near the AI in terms of acceleration through there. Raikkonen's catching up behind the Ferrari on those fresh tyres, so we need to start making these moves now. Alonso's still leading the train, but we really need to cash in on the fact these tyres are fresher than everybody else's now. A personal best, as you'd expect, but I need to pass Stroll somewhere else. Oh, that was a late one. That was a very late one, but we had to do it. We had to commit to that overtake. I was getting frustrated. That was a very late lunge. Gasly struggling here in the Toro Rosso. He's in the back foot. He's going to have no DRS either, so he's going to get swamped by everybody pretty much. Rears are starting to get hot. Right rear on 102. Got to be careful. Gasly gets passed by Ericsson. Van Dorn not quite close enough. I need to try and take care of this right rear while I'm in this traffic. Points are just up the road. I don't want to throw this one away if I can. I need the AI to really go side by side if possible. That's going to really help me out. My rears are getting hot and I'm starting to struggle now to keep up with the pace. I need people to start battling. That's the only way it's going to happen, unfortunately. I'm just starting to run out, just like in the last race. I'm lacking that little bit to really make those inroads. Personal best, still got some pace left, but my right rear is starting to really scream. I need a miracle now. I don't think I'm scoring points this race unless something happens. Oh no, rears have gone. Yeah, there you go, they've gone. Rears have gone now, that's it, game over. Forget the points. We'll be lucky to not finish in last place now. We've got every single car behind us. Brendan Hartley goes for the move. He pulls to the inside. I'm going to try and squeeze him as much as I can down to the brake zone, but it's no use. I've just not got any confidence in the braking. We switch back underneath, but we do cut the corner a bit, but I don't really care. We're going to end up getting overtaken by him anyway, so... Oh no. No. No, please. Oh my god. Well, I think that's all she wrote. I'm going to just call it there and save the engine because what's the point? Right, so looking at the final race results, Sebastian Vettel wins at Austin, Texas. Charles Leclerc P2 in the sub ahead of Nico Hülkenberg. Lewis Hamilton P4, Carlos Sainz 5th ahead of Sergio Perez, my other championship rival, in P6, Valtteri Bottas P7, and with that Mercedes in 4th and 7th wrap up the constructors, so very happy for them, and that's exactly what they deserve after all the work I did as well for the team while I was there. And then Marcus Ericsson 8th, Fernando Alonso P9, and Daniel Ricciardo P10. Verstappen and Raikkonen just missing out on the points. And as you can see at the bottom, Ocon and myself retiring from the race. In terms of the driver standings though, we lead by 57 points. We still have 3 races to go in the form of Mexico, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi. Perez is pretty much out of the running, you could say. Vettel is still within a shout. But I mean, Vettel has to win the races, and so does Perez. So, yeah, realistically, my best chance to score points is the next race in Mexico. If we don't score any points in Mexico, I highly doubt it's going to happen in Brazil and Abu Dhabi. So, the pressure is on the next race. I need to score as many points as I can, and therefore we need to get some upgrades on the car. But in terms of the constructors, you can see that we're still at the bottom with 1 point for Williams. Mercedes officially wrap up the constructors, and I'll take a big chunk out of that, out of that prize money, because I was there, and I hope to be there again next season alongside Lewis Hamilton. All in all, that is it for USA, and we're now going to move into the laptop. Right, so unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be upgrading the aerodynamics or the engine anytime soon. The aero, we need to get an ultimate upgrade, which is way too expensive. It's going to take way too long considering the time we have left. The engine is the same. The only one we can get is this one here for fuel consumption, but that's not really important. That's not really performance. This one here is also fuel consumption, and this one is ERS. So to get to engine performance, we need to get to this upgrade here, and we ain't got the time left to do that. So the only place where we can improve is the chassis, and we've got 2 minor ones here for the weight reduction, which we can get on the car straight away and try and improve. So we're going to get that on the car for Mexico, and then the next one, which is this one here, we'll try and get after Mexico on the car, and then after that we've got a weight redistribution here as well, but that's going to take too long. So pretty much this upgrade here might be the last one we make all season, unless we get maybe the fuel consumption one on the left hand side. But pretty much this car is very restricted and very limited in terms of upgrades. Hopefully we can improve and just generally be faster in the next race in Mexico, but we need a miracle now, and we need to score points in the next race. It's absolutely critical. But if you guys did enjoy this episode of Career Mode, then please do drop a like on the video nonetheless, and also do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications to not miss a single upload from me. Check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Career Mode, and I'll see you in my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.